my lovely Atlantis Scalar peeps. Today, I would like to talk about who I am as a physician. I'm an internal medicine doctor. I practiced for over 30 years, and I really loved it so much. I actually bought out my parents' practice, a practice that I worked with and worked for since I was like 12 years old. Okay. I ran the entire lab when the lab tech was on vacation when I was like 14, 15 years old. And I got to know the patients as kind of a second family, just like I feel about you guys now, my other family. And then after my parents retired and I bought them out, most of them, many of them were still my patients, and I adored them. What I liked about internal medicine is the detective work, trying to figure out with just a handful of signs and symptoms, what was wrong, what kind of disease a person had. But I also really enjoyed looking at the whole person, their family life. I would ask things like, how did so-and-so make the swim team? And I mean, I would intimately know the family as much as they would allow me to, because I felt like it was really important for me to be the best steward of their health. And one thing I did with myself is when I went into a hospital room or an exam room, I would make a commitment to myself that I was not going to leave that exam room or that hospital room until I made their life, even if just a tiny bit better. Let me see if I can figure out an example. Oh yeah. I was going into the exam room to do a truck driver physical for a FedEx driver. And I was examining him and I asked about his family, and I just noticed his energy was really sad. So I got him to open up to me. And the whole thing was that his wife took their only child like 14 years prior to Mexico, and he could not find him. His son was the love of his life. So I said, hang on a minute. I went to my office and on my computer and found him. And it was just, I found his son for him. So it was so awesome to see the joy in his eyes. And he was just so grateful. So, I mean, I just love doing things like that, even though it didn't have anything to do with medicine directly. It kind of does, because happy people are healthy people. Okay. Unhappy people are unhealthy people by far, usually. But after Eric died, I retired, gave up a very good salary, and I started the Channeling Eric blog, because I felt like, for me to heal, I would have to heal others. This is who I am. I mean, it's kind of like benevolent selfishness in a way, because I wanted to heal and I knew I had to help others in order to do that. And so I created the blog so that people who were grieving like me could have a safe place to congregate virtually and communicate their feelings and feel supported and loved. And then Atlantis Scalar came along because I wanted to help one of the relatives that I love so much that has cancer. And I found that, my background as a physician is extremely important for Atlantis Scalar services, because, you do have to, in order to write intent scripts that will work, you have to have an intimate knowledge of physiology, of anatomy, of endocrinology, of medicine, basically. I mean, so much of my intent script does involve medical science, basically. Now, will I ever go back? I mean, sometimes I do miss the face-to-face relationship with patients. I do. And certainly I could go back. I mean, certainly the pay would be a lot higher, but mean that by now that it's not about the money. So I have done a lot of volunteer work as a physician too. Maybe I don't know if I'll have time, but maybe once in a while we'll do that. But I just want you to know what my philosophy is as a doctor and how I incorporate that I do everything I do now, including Atlantis Scalar. So anyway, I guess that's it. Be kind to your doctors and find one that looks at you as a whole human being and not just as a diagnosis. Also, be very careful and know that you really are the real steward of your own health. Google things. If you have any doubts about a doctor, get a second opinion. Find a research for yourself. Because, you know, I, for example, have snatched some of my relatives out of the clutches of death from poor medicine. There are so many stories I could tell, but most doctors are really good. So I won't end off like that, being such a bitch. But no, really, really realize that you are ultimately responsible for your own health and your own medical decisions. Okay. Just because somebody has a white coat on doesn't mean that they actually know what they're doing. All right. I love you all. And y'all subscribe, please. Hit the notification bell because sometimes I have some surprises. And share if you can. If you care about people, share this. Bye.